Methyl isocyanate. The realism of the performances generally matters. If my lungs were compromised, to give a more drastic look, something unwelcoming in the air. Biggest industrial disaster ever. Of course, I cannot show you that image. The train boxes of all performances, Menon hardly disappoints. Disaster after disaster after. Chernobyl was something else. 15,000 people. Hey everyone, the Dark Knaik is here. 4 people from different walks of life are tested by time to protect countless lives from a deadly gas that is leaked from an old factory in Bhopal. The consequences are unforgettable, historically black, and immensely poisonous. Extraordinary heroism in the line of saving as many people as possible in what is considered to be the worst nightmare and biggest industrial disaster ever. In December 1984, a chemical accident occurred in an old factory of Union Carbide when a highly toxic gas called methyl isocyanate leaked and exposed to more than 500,000 people and killed more than 10,000 to 15,000 people. The Railwayman is a 4-episode limited series by Netflix starring Madhavan, Menon, Divyendu and Babil in the lead. The dark aesthetics of the series is built around the citywide havoc that is unbearable enough to make me feel if my lungs were compromised. A marvelous direction of a haunting sketch of people getting killed by the smell of gas in their coughs and vomits. The application of realism was so accurate that even I on my bed began to cough. Later on I realized that I was coughing because of this extremely bad situation of smog in Lahore. The seriousness of execution lies in the director handling the shots where the realism of the performances generally matters. You must dive deep in the wave of the story proceeding to sense the chill of something unwelcoming in the air. The show's intensity starts haunting the moment the gas leaks. Observe when the characters after the gas leak feels discomfort in communicating and make minor rounds of cough, or when the animals began to cry, particularly when Mushtaq Khan's character goes for a wee, the horse running away from the wedding, and a couple of bullocks driving the cart. In a single waiting room of the railway station of dozens of passengers, every extra was acting his own sense of panic that visibly set a natural tone of responding to the devastation. And then the smallest of detailing that essentially matters in such historical dramas to give a more drastic look at the magnitude of tragedy. A desperate mother of a bride, young cobbling brothers, a team of swimming girls. How heartbreaking it was to watch a newborn sucking the breast of a dead mother. Of course, I cannot show you that image. And then there was another heartbreaking scene when a young boy has to leave his dead brother behind. You get a taste of all stories of common people about to get affected by the stench. There were some eye-catching scenes of heroism, like the scared swimmer mustering up her courage to run towards the train, but stopping at another cry from the back. And then the gunshot of a race in the back score making her run. It was so well shot. And Imad switching the rail track, Jagmohan taking quick pictures in the hospital, Kamruddin getting a hold on the gas leak that eventually takes his life. These scenes collectively represent some extraordinary heroics of that tragic night that came out of mutual respect and solidarity in the wake of the hour. Madhavan and Divyendu did their fair part as they have been experienced by the weavers in the past, but the two who separate the train boxes of all performances are definitely Menon and Babil Khan. Known for his method acting, Menon hardly disappoints. This one was a thorough mental and physical effort tested in the heaviest of all primes. I hope his lungs are not affected after this performance, because he is the one who was coughing more than anyone. And it is not easy to perform exhausting respiratory system, God knows in how many takes each and every shot. It is very interesting that Menon has now worked in 2 films based on Bhopal Disaster. Before this film, there was a 1999 film, Bhopal Express. I wasn't impressed with Babil Khan in Qala, as there was not much he gave in the character. But this time, this boy really learned the application of body language, the sentimental collapse, and the lump in his throat that was repeatedly breaking over the disaster after disaster after disaster. That was fabulous. This star kid is really up to something if he chooses his projects that wisely in the future. But surely most of us can see some glimpse of his father's acting in him. Sunny Hinduja's character of Jagmohan, the journalist, is actually based on Rajkumar Keswani, the investigative journalist who was raising the health safety concerns about that very plant for nearly 2 years before the disaster. And he was warning through his articles that something terrible might occur. And that happened. One of the stories that ran parallel throughout the series is of a sick mother and son who tries to escape from the fanatics by moving into a train. The very same year, 1984, 2 tragedies happened. One was the anti-Sikh riots, the other was this Bhopal disaster. Bhopal disaster happened in the first week of December. Anti-Sikh riots happened in October and November, if I'm not wrong. There is, I think, a gap of 2 months. So I have no knowledge if the Sikhs faced cruelty 2 months after the riot. Maybe they deliberately folded the Sikh chapter into this. The character of Express Dacoit, played by Divyendu Sharma, is totally fictional character. But maybe this character was created to grab attention because Divyendu Sharma is fan favorite, and when the audience sees him as a dacoit having a change of heart during the course of this tragedy, it looks very compelling. But one of the few minuses of this series was how the frog did the dacoit fill such an enormous amount of money back in the vault. Menon's character of Station Master is based on Ghulam Dastagir, the station master who saved many lives that night, and he was the one who immediately alerted all the nearby stations and asked to suspend the railway traffic to Bhopal. I'm not sure if all these railway junction communications and scenes were accurate or not, but when there is the realism about the heroics of Ghulam Dastagir, so there is a possibility that maybe those communications between the railway junctions might have happened, but no confirmation. We just can hope that it is accurate. The American CEO of the Union Carbide mentions C.S. Tyson report and gets very, very angry. What was C.S. Tyson report? 2 years before this disaster, C.S. Tyson, a Union Carbide inspector, wrote a full-fledged detailed report about his disapproval about the safety measures that were taken in the plant, and he was not satisfied at all. Railwayman, due to similar plot line, gives me genuine Chernobyl vibes. No, I'm not comparing this with Chernobyl. Chernobyl was something else. This is, I think, the greatest limited series ever produced in the history of television. Railwayman also reminds me of The Burning Train. I must say that this show has done a fabulous job in direction, production design, cinematography, editing, and the collective effort of the performances. And I must praise whoever the cinematographer was for such detailed and thoughtful cinematography. In the final scenes, I loved that shot where it shows the final rights of Muslims on one side and Hindus on the other side. It was a terrific shot. The series was slipping in the second half by the slightest of margins when the ending phase began to look predictable. But I must say the Railway Men successfully showed the environmental and social impact of the disaster. The show is well supported by real footage and pictures. With most of the ticks on the report of excellence, I'm fully convinced that The Railway Man is one of the best Indian limited series ever produced. I'm Sunny Naik.